We begin with the breaking news on day 71 of the war in Iran. President Trump today telling a French news outlet that he expects to hear very soon from Iran, adding, quote, they still very much want to make a deal. This is President Trump just moments ago at his golf course in Sterling, Virginia, for a live golf tournament. And then as for the war, the administration said the same thing Friday, appearing to be in waiting mode for Iran's response to the latest U.S. proposal to end the war.
I mean, we're expecting a response from them. We'll see what the response entails. The hope is it's something that it can put us into a serious process of negotiation. Obviously, we've seen the reporting overnight that Iran has established or trying to establish some agency that's going to control traffic in the Straits. That would be very problematic. That would actually be unacceptable. The normalizing of their controlling of international waterways is both illegal and it's just something that's unacceptable. And the world has to start asking itself, what is it willing to do if Iran tries to normalize a control of an international waterway?
The tenuous ceasefire appeared to be holding today after the U.S. struck 2 empty Iranian oil tankers on Friday and had several other exchanges of fire over the past few days.
Okay, they didn't have a nuclear weapon, and now they're off the negotiating table, and they've found a leverage point, and that leverage point is the Strait of Hormuz. So right now, all this fight over getting in negotiations, and you're absolutely right, Trump is lying about this every other day, and I can't believe that Wall Street and the media keep falling for it. I mean, it's Lucy, Charlie Brown, and the football every single day. We have a deal. Iran is capitulating.
Meanwhile, Israel today carried out a wave of strikes in Lebanon as clashes with Hezbollah intensified despite a U.S.-brokered ceasefire reached last month. At least 7 people, including a child, were killed in one strike. We have a number of reporters and analysts in place. They're ready to go over all of these new and developing storylines. So let's go to MS Now contributor Inzamam Rashid in Dubai. Inzamam, you have Donald Trump saying that the tenuous ceasefire with Iran is holding despite that exchange of fire in the Strait of Hormuz. What is the status of Trump's proposal for a peace talk agenda?
Well, the status is that another day has gone by and Iran is yet to respond to that U.S. plan for peace as a result of this conflict. Iran was supposed to respond on Thursday. That's what the Pakistanis were suggesting to me. And then when they didn't do that, well, on Friday, Marco Rubio and President Trump were pretty confident that they'd get a response by then, and they were hoping that it would be a serious response to that peace plan. That didn't come. And then throughout the day today, I've been trying to get an answer from the Pakistanis, and I just spoke to some of my sources who are linked with the negotiations in Pakistan just before I came on air with you, Alex, and they seem positive that a response is coming from Iran. I just don't think they're quite clear exactly when that may be. And I think there's 2 points here. One is Iran could potentially be delaying this, trying to push America as far as they possibly can, given the fighting that we've seen over the last few days, particularly over the Strait of Hormuz. We saw that Iran targeted a couple of U.S. Navy warships. We also saw the U.S. retaliate by targeting many parts of the coast of Iran. And, of course, the U.S. blockade very much remains in the Strait of Hormuz. Around 58 vessels or so now have either been redirected or intercepted by the U.S. Navy on the Strait of Hormuz. And that's a real sticking point for Iran. They've said all along that they won't come to the negotiation table as long as the blockade remains in the Strait of Hormuz. And remember, it was Project Freedom, which went on for a few days before President Trump made that 180 and decided to pause it as a result of discussions from Pakistanis, maybe even Saudi Arabia as well, which has now led Iran potentially open to having talks. And then on the other hand, you've maybe got Iran actually just saying, let's just wait a little bit, let's put a bit of pressure on before we actually come to the table, but we will think hard and long about what we can reply to, whether this idea of the nuclear capabilities is on the table. Is that something that Iran can come and have a discussion about? It's the whole reason that the US and Israel went to war in the first place. So right now, the ball's in Iran's court. All eyes are on Iran. We're waiting for them to come up with a response. But finally, just remember, this is the pre-proposal to any in-person negotiations taking place. So we're a long way off before any conclusive ending to this war, Alex.
Okay, Inzamam Rashid, as always, many thanks, my friend, from Dubai.